I compiled a spreadsheet of 43 mechanics across Europe, in Germany, the UK, France, Poland, and Romania, and asked each one the same question. What do you personally drive? Not one said BMW, Audi, or Mercedes. Among 43 professionals who fix cars for a living, not a single German premium badge appeared in the driveway. For anyone about to spend $35,000 or more on a new car, that is an uncomfortable starting point. Most lists of the best cars come from journalists who drive press vehicles for a week. They experience the leather, the gadgets, and the showroom polish. They do not see the car at 80,000 kilometers when the timing chain stretches, or the $2,800 repair bill when the touchscreen dies. Mechanics do. That is why I contacted workshops and asked one simple question. What car do you personally own, and why? The pattern was consistent. Most of the mechanics I spoke to were not driving anything newer than 2021 as a daily, and the most common explanation was simple. They know what breaks. The same 6 cars kept appearing across the interviews, not because they are exciting, but because they are dependable. Across European datasets, roadside assistance callouts, periodic inspection outcomes, and owner surveys, these cars cluster at the low-drama end of ownership. They are not perfect, but they are consistently less likely to produce the kind of financial disaster mechanics see every day. That is why they keep buying them. The aim here is to cut through the marketing and focus on what actually works. At number 6 is the Mazda CX-30, specifically the 2.0-liter naturally aspirated Skyactiv G, not the turbo and not the diesel. The base petrol version that many people call underpowered is the one mechanics actually buy. I spoke to a Mazda specialist in Munich who has worked on these engines for 8 years. His verdict was direct. The naturally aspirated Skyactiv is the closest thing to 1990s Toyota reliability we have today. I've never replaced an engine. I've never even seen major internal wear. The ADAC 2024 Reliability Index shows Mazda's naturally aspirated petrol models sitting 47% below the segment average for major drivetrain faults. That is not a marginal improvement. It is nearly half the problems of competing brands, and mechanics notice that difference in their daily workload. The engine uses port injection, so there is no carbon buildup on the intake valves. There is no turbocharger to fail and no cylinder deactivation system to create oil consumption issues. Mazda deliberately avoided complexity and mechanics noticed. A Bristol workshop owner told me he bought a CX-30 because of what he does not see in his workshop. BMWs, Audis, and Mercedes coming in with timing chains, turbos, and DSG transmissions, while the Mazdas mostly need oil changes and tires. The interior also avoids the touchscreen problems affecting competitors. Climate controls are physical, audio has real buttons, and the rotary controller still works with gloves in winter. Starting at $33,800, it is not cheap. But Mazda's 7-year warranty across Europe, maintenance costs averaging $680 annually, and resale values holding at 68% after 3 years, compared with 45% for equivalent Volkswagen crossovers, change the ownership calculation. Fuel economy of 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers is not class-leading, but it is honest. The stated figures are close to what owners actually achieve. For mechanics who have watched customers burned by optimistic manufacturer claims, that matters. The purchase price matters less when repair costs stay under control. At number 5 is the car that dominates mechanic car parks across Europe, the Toyota Corolla hybrid sedan. Not the touring wagon and not the GR Sport. The basic hybrid sedan that automotive journalists dismiss as boring is the car professionals choose with their own money. A Berlin mechanic with 30 years of experience put it simply, "I've worked on every brand. Nothing comes close to Toyota hybrid reliability. These systems are 27 years old now. 27 years of perfecting the same technology. Everyone else is still experimenting." Owner survey data supports that view. In reliability datasets, Corolla-class Toyotas routinely sit near the top, while complex premium models often cluster lower, especially as mileage rises. The Corolla hybrid avoids many of the major failure points found in modern cars. There is no turbocharger and no direct injection. It is port injected. There is no conventional starter motor wearing out from stop-start systems, no dual clutch transmission, no diesel particulate filter, and no AdBlue system. Many of the components that generate $2,300 plus repair bills in other cars simply do not exist here. The ECVT transmission has no clutch to burn and no friction plates to wear. The electric motors are brushless, which means virtually zero wear over the life of the vehicle. A taxi driver in Hamburg showed me the records for his 2019 Corolla Hybrid with 380,000 kilometers, oil changes and tires and little else. His verdict was direct. The car just refuses to brake. Toyota's hybrid battery coverage can be extended through annual battery health checks, depending on the market, and in some cases, that coverage extends to 15 years. Even outside warranty, battery replacement costs around $2,100, less than a DSG service on a Volkswagen. Real-world fuel consumption of 3.9 liters per 100 kilometers keeps annual fuel costs under $1,400 for average European mileage. Mechanics who drive 25,000 kilometers a year save thousands compared with diesel alternatives, and they avoid the DPF regeneration cycles that so often damage those engines. Starting at $36,800, the Corolla hybrid costs more than the budget alternatives. One mechanic explained why that does not matter. Calculate 10-year ownership, fuel, repairs, depreciation. The Corolla costs less than cars half its purchase price. I've done the math. That's why I drive one. At number 4 is the Honda Civic with the 1.5 VTEC turbo and a manual gearbox. For mechanics who still enjoy driving but refuse to pay for unnecessary complexity, the manual matters. A Rotterdam workshop owner explained it succinctly. Honda's CVT is reliable, but it's $3,700 to fix if anything goes wrong. The manual clutch is $400. For professionals who understand failure costs, that's not even a decision. It's basic mathematics. The 1.5 VTEC turbo had early issues with fuel dilution in cold climates, but Honda addressed those with hardware and software revisions from 2020 onward. Post-2020 models show virtually no significant problems in TÜV inspections. The turbo setup is conventional, with a single scroll and standard wastegate. There's nothing exotic here to fail expensively. Physical controls also set the Civic apart from competitors. Climate control uses actual knobs, audio uses real buttons, and the infotainment works reliably because Honda did not try to reinvent the interface. One Frankfurt mechanic said he bought the Civic because he can adjust the temperature without taking his eyes off the road. It is a simple requirement that many manufacturers no longer meet. Space is another advantage. Rear seats accommodate adults. The 478-liter boot handles luggage easily, and visibility is strong because Honda prioritized function over aggressive styling. Build quality remains evident after years of use. Panel gaps stay consistent. The interior plastics are hard, but durable. They still look much the same at 200,000 kilometers. There is no fake carbon fiber peeling and no piano black trim scratching itself to pieces, only materials that age properly. Starting at $38,000 with the manual transmission, the Civic sits in a competitive price bracket. ADAC breakdown data keeps Honda among the top 5 brands across all segments. Mechanics buying Civics are not gambling. They are reading the data and making a professional decision. At number 3 is the one European car on this list, but only under very specific conditions. The Skoda Octavia with the 1.5 TSI engine and a manual transmission, and only in pre-2024 facelift form. In this exact combination, it represents what many mechanics regard as the last genuinely good Volkswagen Group car before the latest digital overhaul. A Prague mechanic who has worked on Octavias for 15 years was precise in his advice. The 2020 to 2023 Octavia with the 1.5 manual is the sweet spot. Simple engine, simple gearbox, physical buttons, everything after that went wrong. The 1.5 TSI with a manual avoids several major Volkswagen Group failure points. There is no DSG transmission, no 1.2 TSI timing chain failure, and no 2.0 TSI carbon buildup requiring $935 cleaning every 30,000 kilometers. The 1.5 is the balanced choice, powerful enough, simple enough, and reliable enough. The model year also matters. Inspection data, comparing Octavia variants with equivalent Golf models from the same production years, points to tighter consistency in Octavia production, with less automation variability, more human inspection, and fewer defects reaching customers. It is the same platform and many of the same engines, but a different approach to quality control. Workshop experience suggests that Skoda's Czech factory has maintained standards that other Volkswagen Group sites have let slip. The pre-facelift version is essential because it still has physical climate controls. The post-2024 facelift moved critical functions into the touchscreen. The pre-facelift can also be diagnosed with generic OBD tools, while the facelift requires Volkswagen's proprietary systems, which cost workshops thousands. Practicality remains exceptional for the money. The 640-liter boot outclasses SUVs costing far more, and rear legroom is strong enough for mechanics carrying tools, parts, and equipment. The Octavia Estate is the professional choice, although it is slightly less reliable than the sedan because of the extra weight on suspension components. Finding pre-facelift stock now takes effort. Some Skoda dealers still have 2023 registered units that were never sold. Those cars are becoming more valuable as buyers recognize what was lost. One Munich mechanic told me he bought 2 pre-facelift Octavias, one to drive and one for parts. When these are gone, nothing replaces them. Starting prices are around $32,700 for remaining stock. Service costs average $610 annually, and depreciation remains reasonable because the Octavia's reputation for practicality continues to support used demand. At number 2 is the Mazda MX-5 with the 2.0-liter naturally aspirated engine and a manual transmission. A 2-seater sports car makes this reliability list because Mazda built a sports car that simply works. A specialist sports car mechanic in Stuttgart put it clearly, "I work on Porsches, BMWs, Audis all day. Amazing cars, constant problems. The MX-5 owners come in for oil changes, maybe brake pads. That's it." The naturally aspirated 2.0-liter engine is deliberately understressed. It produces 184 horsepower in a very light car, which means it is not being pushed to its limits. That helps it avoid the strain and long-term issues seen in smaller turbocharged rivals working much harder. The manual gearbox is widely regarded as one of the finest ever produced, precise, durable, and satisfying. A clutch replacement costs around $445. The same job on a BMW Z4 is about $2,100. Owner forums show MX-5s regularly reaching 300,000 kilometers on standard maintenance. The previous generation from 2005 still tops reliability charts 2 decades later. Mazda did not add complexity here. It refined simplicity while competitors added turbochargers, hybrid systems, and layers of electronics. On base models, the soft top is manual. There are no motors to fail and no sensors to malfunction. It operates in 5 seconds and should work the same way in 20 years. The electric roof on higher trims is an added complication that mechanics generally avoid. Practicality is limited. 2 seats, minimal boot space, and full exposure to the weather, but the limitation is honest. The MX-5 does not pretend to be anything else. For mechanics who want a weekend car, they are unlikely ever to have to repair. It remains the obvious answer. Starting at $42,000, the MX-5 sits in attainable sports car territory. Insurance is reasonable because enthusiast owners tend to crash less. Resale values are among the strongest of any sports car under $58,400, and parts availability is excellent thanks to the aftermarket. One Edinburgh mechanic called it the last honest sports car. At number 1 is the Toyota Yaris Cross Hybrid. It is not exciting, not premium, and not especially attractive. According to the mechanics I spoke to, it is simply the most reliable new vehicle you can buy in Europe. When I asked why the Yaris Cross rather than the Corolla or the standard Yaris, the answer was consistent: real-world practicality. The raised ride height reduces the underbody damage that affects lower cars in European cities, on speed bumps, curbs, winter roads, and poor surfaces. That extra clearance prevents expensive impact repairs. The drivetrain is Toyota's proven 1.5-liter 3-cylinder hybrid, fundamentally the same system used in taxis that cover 500,000 kilometers. There is no turbocharger, no diesel complexity, and no dual-clutch gearbox. There are electric motors, a durable ECVT, and an understressed engine running the efficient Atkinson cycle. Across multiple datasets, Toyota's mainstream hybrids consistently avoid the big-ticket failure modes that destroy ownership budgets. The result is a very different ownership experience. While competitors return to workshops repeatedly, Toyota owners often have little reason to call the dealer. The interior also avoids many current failures in design. There are physical buttons for the important functions, and the touchscreen does not take over critical controls. There are no subscriptions, no features that expire, and no software updates that break systems that already work. You buy the car once and own it completely. Toyota's hybrid battery coverage can be extended through annual health checks depending on the market. Even outside any warranty program, battery replacement costs around $2,100, less than a single premium brand service. These batteries have already shown 15-plus-year lifespans in early Toyotas, so failure is not a realistic concern. Starting at $36,000, the Yaris Cross is expensive for a small SUV, but every mechanic I interviewed made the same 10-year ownership calculation. Fuel consumption of 3.8 liters per 100 kilometers saves thousands. Virtually zero repairs saves thousands more. Depreciation of only 28% after 3 years preserves thousands again. A Copenhagen workshop owner summarized it well: the Yaris Cross won't excite your neighbors. It won't impress anyone at traffic lights. What it will do is work perfectly every single day for the next 2 decades. For professionals who fix broken cars constantly, that is worth everything. That is the list. Out of hundreds of cars available in Europe, these are the 7 that pass the test of people who actually know what breaks and why. The 7 cars on this list share the same core traits: naturally aspirated or proven hybrid engines, manual transmissions or simple automatics, physical controls, readily available parts, and engineering focused on longevity rather than showroom impression. Mechanics who see failures every day are choosing the opposite of what manufacturers promote. 43 professionals, and not one German premium badge. Their choices say as much about modern car design as they do about reliability. The industry presents complexity as progress. Mechanics who deal with the failures and the repair bills see how often that complexity serves dealers better than owners.